The rain pounded against the window of our cramped Brooklyn apartment like a relentless accusation, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. I sat on the worn-out couch, nursing a lukewarm coffee, when the door burst open at 2 a.m., and in stumbled Emily, my roommate of 2 years, reeking of cheap vodka and regret. Her mascara-streaked face twisted into a sob as she collapsed beside me, blurting out words that shattered the fragile illusion we'd both clung to. "Alex, I think I'm in love with you. And I hate myself for it." I froze, my heart slamming against my ribs. Emily, the epitome of straight-laced perfection, captain of her college debate team back in Ohio, now a rising star in a Manhattan marketing firm, had always been the one insisting our late-night talks and lingering hugs were just best friend stuff. I'd come out as lesbian in high school, facing the usual mix of support and side-eyes in our progressive New York circle, but Emily? She was the golden child of a conservative Midwestern family, engaged to her high school sweetheart, Mark, until 6 months ago when she called it off without explanation. Now here she was, unraveling on our living room floor, her confession hanging in the air like smoke from a fire we couldn't extinguish. "What did you just say?" I whispered, pulling away slightly, though every fiber of me wanted to hold her. Emily's eyes, usually sharp and confident, were glassy and desperate. "I said it, okay? I've been fighting it for months. Every time you laugh at my stupid jokes or make me breakfast after a bad day, it hits me harder. But Alex, my family, they disown me. And society, God, what would people think? I'm not like you." Her words stung, laced with the internalized shame she'd absorbed from years of church sermons and small-town whispers. I wanted to scream that love wasn't a choice, that her denial was tearing us both apart, but instead, I just sat there, the silence amplifying the tension. The next morning, Emily woke up with a hangover and a wall of denial thicker than ever. She avoided my gaze over breakfast, muttering about blacking out and not remembering much. But I saw the flicker in her eyes, the fear, the pull. We went about our day like nothing happened. Me heading to my graphic design job in Soho, her to her office uptown. Yet the apartment felt charged, every shared space a minefield. That evening, as we cooked dinner together, a habit we'd fallen into since she moved in after her breakup, the unspoken truth simmered. "About last night," I finally said, chopping vegetables with forced casualness. Emily stiffened, her knife pausing mid-slice. "Alex, please." It was the alcohol talking. "I'm straight. I love men. Mark was just not the right one." But her voice cracked, betraying her. I pushed gently at first. If it's just alcohol, why have you been pulling away from every guy who's asked you out since the breakup? Why do you light up when we're alone?" She slammed the knife down, her face flushing. "Because you're my friend. That's all. Don't make this weird." But it was already weird, had been for months. I'd caught her staring at me during movie nights, her hand brushing mine a second too long. And me? I'd fallen for her the day she defended me against a homophobic coworker at a party, her fire matching mine. But loving someone in denial was a slow poison. That night, Emily's phone buzzed incessantly, her mother calling from Ohio. I overheard snippets. "When are you coming home? Your father misses you. And what about finding a nice boy?" Emily's responses were clipped, evasive. When she hung up, she looked at me with haunted eyes. "They expect so much, Alex. The perfect daughter, the white picket fence. If they knew." She trailed off, but the implication was clear. Coming out would mean exile. I reached for her hand, but she jerked away. "Don't. This can't happen." Yet, as she retreated to her room, I knew the confession was just the spark. The real fire was coming. Over the next week, the tension escalated. Emily threw herself into work, staying late to avoid me, but when she was home, the air crackled with unspoken words. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, she broke. We were watching TV, her head accidentally resting on my shoulder. Instead of moving, she stayed, her breath sinking with mine. "What if I'm wrong about everything?" she whispered. I turned to her, our faces inches apart. "Then face it, Em. With me." For a moment, hope flickered, but then her phone rang again. It was her sister, gushing about a family reunion. Emily pulled back, the moment shattered. "I can't," she said, fleeing to her room. Left alone, I wondered how long we could dance around this before someone got burned. The breaking point came at a friend's party in Williamsburg. Emily, trying to prove her straightness, flirted aggressively with a guy named Jake, laughing too loudly at his jokes. I watched from across the room, jealousy twisting like a knife. When she kissed him, a sloppy, desperate display, something in me snapped. I left early, hailing a cab back home. Hours later, Emily stumbled in alone. "Why do you leave?" she demanded, her eyes accusing. "Because I can't watch you lie to yourself anymore," I shot back. Tears streamed down her face. "I'm not lying. This is who I am." But her voice wavered, and in that vulnerability, she stepped closer. Our argument turned raw, words flying like daggers. Accusations of pressure, denials of feelings. Finally exhausted, she collapsed into my arms. "Help me, Alex. I don't know what to do." As I held her, I knew this was only the beginning of the storm. The days following the party blurred into a haze of fragile truces and heated whispers. Emily oscillated between drawing closer and pushing me away, her internal war spilling over into our shared life. One morning, as sunlight filtered through the blinds, she sat at the kitchen table, staring at her coffee. "Alex, what if we just explored this? Quietly." Her words were tentative, a olive branch extended across the chasm of her fears. I nodded, my pulse racing. "We take it slow. No labels, no pressure." But even as I said it, I knew society didn't allow for such neat compartments. Our first date, a walk through Central Park, felt electric, her hand slipping into mine under the guise of cold weather. Laughter came easily, but so did the shadows. A passing couple's stare, a overheard slur from a jogger. Emily flinched each time, her grip tightening then releasing. Back home, the intimacy grew in stolen moments. A shared glance over dinner, a hug that lingered. But Emily's phone was a constant intruder, texts from her family probing her single status, invitations to church events back home. "They think I'm lost in the city," she confided one night, curled up on the couch. "If they knew about us." I stroked her hair, whispering reassurances, but doubt gnawed at me. Was I selfish for wanting this? For pulling her into a world she'd been taught to fear? The answer came in waves of guilt, especially when I saw her scrolling through old photos with Mark, her face etched with nostalgia and regret. The first major crack appeared during a weekend visit from Emily's college friend, Sarah, a bubbly straight woman oblivious to the undercurrents. Sarah teased Emily about her dry spell with men, suggesting blind dates. Emily laughed it off, but later, alone with me, she exploded. "See? That's what everyone expects. How can I just flip the script?" I argued back, frustration boiling over. "Because hiding hurts more. Look at me. I lost friends, family support, but I'm free." Emily's eyes flashed. "Easy for you to say. Your parents accepted you. Mine would pray the gay away." The fight ended in tears, her retreating to her room, leaving me to question if love was worth this pain. Work became Emily's escape, but even there the facade cracked. Her boss, a progressive type, hosted a pride event at the office. Emily attended reluctantly, her discomfort palpable. When a coworker casually mentioned her own same-sex marriage, Emily paled, excusing herself. That night, she confessed, "I felt like a fraud standing there. Like I belong, but I don't." I held her, but the words "us" hung unspoken. The next day, she made a decision that shook me. "I'm going on a date. With a guy. To prove this is just a phase." Jealousy surged, but I nodded, masking my hurt. "If that's what you need." Watching her dress up for him, a finance bro named Chris, felt like betrayal, even though we'd never defined anything. The date was a disaster, or so she claimed upon returning early. "He was boring," she said, but her eyes avoided mine. Days later, I discovered the truth. She'd kissed him, trying to force the spark. "It felt wrong," she admitted, breaking down. "All I thought about was you." Relief mixed with anger. "Then why do it? Why hurt us both?" Emily's response was raw. "Because I'm scared, Alex. Of losing everything, my job, my friends, my identity." We argued fiercely, voices echoing off the walls. In the heat, she revealed more. Her family's history of shunning a gay uncle, The sermons branding homosexuality as sin. If I choose you, I lose them. The words hung heavy, a moral crossroads. I wanted to say love conquers all, but reality bit harder. The pressure mounted when Emily's mother announced a surprise visit. Panic set in. Hiding our budding relationship meant erasing traces. No lingering touches, no shared beds. Just act normal, Emily pleaded. But normal felt like a cage. Mrs. Thompson arrived, all Midwestern warmth and probing questions. "Any nice boys, dear?" she asked over dinner. Emily forced a smile. "Not yet, Mom." I sat silently, the third wheel in my own home. Later, alone with Emily, the strain showed. She'd have a heart attack if she knew. That night, as her mother slept in the guest room, our couch, Emily slipped into my bed, whispering apologies. "I can't keep this up." But morning brought retreat back to denial. The visit culminated in a blow-up. Mrs. Thompson found an old photo of us at a pride parade, innocent but telling. "What's this?" she demanded. Emily stammered. "Just supporting a friend." But the suspicion lingered. After her mother left, Emily lashed out at me. "You should have hidden it better." Accusations flew. I was pushing too hard, she was stringing me along. In the midst, she made a choice to call Mark, her ex, for closure. Hearing her laugh on the phone twisted the knife. When she hung up, she said, "He's coming to visit. Maybe I need to try again." Betrayal hit like a wave. "So that's it? Us was just an experiment." Tears streamed as she nodded. "I have to know for sure." Left reeling, I packed a bag, crashing at a friend's. The price of her indecision was my heart splintering. Exile from our apartment lasted a week, each day a torment of unanswered texts and self-doubt. Had I misread everything? Was Emily's confession just fleeting confusion? Finally, a message. "Come home." Mark's visit was a mistake. I returned warily, finding her disheveled, eyes red from crying. "He kissed me and it felt like nothing," she admitted. "All I wanted was you." Relief surged, but trust was frayed. "You can't keep testing the waters, Em. It hurts." She nodded, pulling me close. "I know. I'm ready to try for real." But real meant facing the world, and Emily wasn't there yet. We navigated a secret relationship, stolen kisses behind closed doors, weekend getaways disguised as girls' trips. Intimacy deepened, not physically but emotionally, sharing fears, dreams. Emily opened up about her childhood. Strict parents, the pressure to be perfect. Coming out would destroy them, she said. I shared my own scars. High school bullying, a strained relationship with extended family. For a while it felt like enough, our bubble against the storm. But bubbles burst. The first public test came at a work event for me. A gallery opening in Chelsea. Emily attended as my roommate. But when a friend introduced her as such, her face fell. Later, she confessed. It felt like lying. Progress? Maybe. But then came the call from her father. Health issues, urging her home for Thanksgiving. "Come with me," she begged. As a friend. I agreed, but dread loomed. Ohio felt like enemy territory. Conservative heartland, where rainbow flags were rare. The drive was tense, Emily's knuckles white on the wheel. "Just be yourself, but tone down." Her words stung, implying my queerness was something to hide. At her parents' house, the facade began. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson were polite, but questions probed. "Any boyfriend, Alex?" I deflected, but Emily's anxiety peaked. During dinner, her uncle, the shunned one, was mentioned in hushed tones. "Such a shame," her mother sighed. Emily gripped my hand under the table, a silent plea. The explosion came on Black Friday. While shopping, we ran into old friends, including Mark. He greeted Emily warmly, hinting at rekindling. She brushed him off, but later at home her parents pushed. "He's a good man, Emily. Don't let city life corrupt you." The word corrupt ignited her. "What if I'm happy without a man?" she snapped. Silence fell. Her father frowned. "What does that mean?" Emily faltered, retreating. That night, in the guest room, she whispered, "I almost said it." I held her, but the damage was done, suspicion seeded. Back in New York, the fallout rippled. Emily's sister called, accusing her of changing. "Mom thinks you're influenced by that roommate." Emily denied, but the lie weighed heavy. She began distancing again, canceling plans. I need space, she said. Hurt turned to anger. Space from what? Us. The argument escalated. Her blaming societal pressure, me accusing cowardice. In the heat, she revealed a secret. She'd confided in Sarah, who reacted poorly. She said it's a phase, that I need therapy. Betrayal stung anew. You told her before your family? Before committing to us. The climax hit when Emily's boss offered a promotion, but it required relocating to Chicago. It's a fresh start, she said, eyes pleading. Away from all this mess. I saw red. Running away? That's your solution. She countered. Maybe. If I can't be out here, perhaps there. But I knew it was evasion. We fought bitterly, words like selfish and weak flying. Finally, she made her choice. Accept the job. I love you, Alex, but I can't lose myself. Packing her things, tears flowed. This is the price for both of us. As she left, I wondered if her denial was unbreakable. Months passed in a blur of emptiness. Our apartment echoed without Emily. I'd sublet her room to a stranger, but the ghosts lingered. I threw myself into work, dating casually, but nothing filled the void. Texts from her were sporadic. Miss you. Thinking of you. I replied curtly, guarding my heart. Then, a bombshell, an invitation to her new place in Chicago for closure. Against better judgment, I went the train ride, a gauntlet of memories. Arriving, I found her changed. Sharper edges but softer eyes. Alex, I've been seeing a therapist, she confessed over coffee. Working through the shame. Hope flickered. And she sighed. It's hard. I came out to a few friends here. Mixed reactions. Pride swelled but caution held. What about us? Emily's gaze dropped. I pushed you away to figure myself out. It was wrong. We talked for hours, unpacking the pain. Her family's silence after she hinted at her truth. The societal whispers in her new office. I betrayed you by hiding, she admitted. The cost was losing the one person who saw me. Reconnection came slowly, walks along Lake Michigan, honest conversations. But trust was fragile. When she introduced me to co-workers as her ex-roommate, old wounds reopened. Still hiding? I challenged. Emily bristled. It's progress. Give me time. Time, however, brought more trials. Her parents visited Chicago, unaware of me. She spent the weekend alone with them, returning drained. They set me up on a blind date, she revealed. I went to keep peace. Fury erupted. Again? After everything. The fight was vicious. Accusations of repetition, defenses of survival. You don't get it, disownment is real, she yelled. I stormed out, questioning if patterns ever broke. Reconciliation followed, but with conditions. No more hiding, I demanded. Emily agreed tentatively. We tried again, long-distance visits, calls. Intimacy rebuilt, but distance amplified doubts. Then a crisis, her father's heart attack. Rushing home, Emily faced the family crucible. In the hospital waiting room, amid prayers and tension, she cracked. Dad, there's something I need to tell you. The confession spilled. Her love for women, for me. Chaos ensued, her mother's tears, father's silence, sister's anger. How could you? They demanded. Emily stood firm, but the price was steep. Radio silence from home. Returning to Chicago, she was shattered. They might never speak to me again, she sobbed in my arms. I comforted but inwardly wrestled. Was my encouragement a push too far? Had I cost her family? Moral dilemmas swirled, love versus blood, truth versus peace. Emily's awakening was bittersweet. Freer but isolated. Was it worth it? She asked. I had no easy answer. As our relationship solidified, society tested us. At a Chicago Pride event, hecklers shouted slurs. Emily froze but then linked arms with me, marching on. Strength emerged, but so did resentment. Why does it have to be this hard? She vented. Backlash came from unexpected places. A demotion at work disguised as restructuring, but reeking of bias. They know about us, she said. Fighting it meant legal battles, stress. The toll mounted. Sleepless nights, therapy bills. In a moment of weakness, Emily reached out to Mark for old time's sake. Discovering the text felt like ultimate betrayal. It was just talk, she claimed. But doubt poisoned everything. How can I trust you? I demanded. The confrontation was raw, ending in her admission. I'm still fighting demons. We separated again, the cycle vicious. Healing came in fragments. Emily threw herself into advocacy, joining LGBT groups, volunteering. This is my atonement, she said during a reconciliation call. I visited, finding her transformed, confident out. I told my family everything. No more half-truths. Reconciliation with them was slow. Awkward calls, tentative visits. Her mother attended a PFLG meeting. Her father grumbled but listened. The price? Years of estrangement mended with scars. Our reunion was cautious, built on therapy and boundaries. No more running, she vowed. Living together again, this time in Chicago, felt like redemption. But challenges persisted. Societal stares, family holidays laced with tension. Emily's promotion battle won, but at the cost of colleagues' respect. Worth it, she affirmed, but her eyes held shadows. Highs balanced lows. Our first public date unapologetic. Anniversaries celebrated openly. Yet moral quandaries lingered. Had her choices been right? The betrayals, the pain inflicted. In quiet moments we reflected. Did I force this? I asked. No, she replied. You showed me truth. But doubt whispered. The story crested in a final trial. Emily's sister, pregnant, invited us to the baby shower. Acceptance? Or trap? We went hearts pounding. Warmth mixed with undercurrents, side eyes from relatives, pointed questions. Emily stood tall, introducing me as her partner. A cousin's slur sparked confrontation. Emily defended us fiercely, but it cost alliances. Driving home, she cried. Was standing up right? Or selfish? The awakening was complete, but the damage irreversible. In the end, love endured, forged in fire. But at what cost? The heart mends, but scars remind. Was Emily's journey of self-discovery justified, even if it shattered lives along the way?